Summers, and in this video I'd like to show you how to practice the tuning exercises in Volume 1, how to set perfect unisons, perfect octaves, and slightly flattened fifths. Those are the three skills that you need to know to be able to tune the entire keyboard. The first two are fairly simple. The flattened fifths are a little more complicated, but it's nothing that you can't get if you give your attention to it and spend a little time practicing. Now, tuning unisons perfectly simply requires that you block off one of the strings, or both of the strings if you haven't tuned the middle string. Let's do that on C. C above middle C here is a good note to practice that on. You tune the middle string to a tuning fork or other reference, handheld tuner, whatever you have. Now you've tuned the middle string. All you want to do now is bring up the unison strings. So all three strings are sounding without any beats, that is, they're all at exactly the same frequency. All unison strings across the entire keyboard have to be tuned so that each string of the series of strings is in tune to the other strings in that series. Down here there's only two. Clear down here there's only one, so the mutes are not necessary, but in the treble and tenor sections of the keyboard you're going to have three strings per note, and all three of them have to be exactly the same pitch. Now once you've practiced that skill and learned to tune all three unison strings, the next skill you want to develop is learning to tune a perfect octave. In this case you'll need 4 of the rubber mutes, 2 of them on the low note, and 2 of them on the upper note. Now we know the C here is in tune, so we're going to tune the middle string of C, middle C, to the middle string of the C above. That's done, bring up the outside strings, just the same as you did on the other one. Now you have an octave, a perfect octave, that is an octave with no beats, and you cannot have any beats in an octave because that will really stand out to people's ears. Your octaves have to be perfect. Even the fifths, there's a little room for variation, but on the octaves there isn't. The octaves have to be right because people notice flat or sharp octaves more than anything. Now the next skill, number 3, is learning to tune flattened fifths, and again you'll need 4 mutes to do that. Let's use middle C as an example. G above. If you hear that ringing like that, you've got the mutes and they're too tight and it's holding the string. This one definitely needs it. Now, tuning a slightly flattened fifth, 3 beats in 5 seconds, or 0.6 beats, which is just slightly over half a beat per second. That's pretty hard to count, but if you hear 2 full beats before the tone decays, that'll be close enough. If you got a stopwatch, you can time it 3 beats in 5 seconds if if the piano sustains that long. Good grands will sustain longer than a small spinning chord. So you want to tune the upper note, always the upper note, to be just perfect. Now back it down just a little bit till you just hear that slow. And then again, pull up the unisons, make them perfect.